Brian Payne, DJ Cutt-Nice. How you doing?
Good, man. What's good with you, man?
Just trying to make stuff happen, though we're still in this pandemic where it seems like maybe we're getting closer to the end of it, but it is what it is, obviously, for what I do for a living and for what you do. This has been a real challenge, and I think it's caused everyone to sort of think differently about how they can still be productive. And maybe it's provided some opportunities that wouldn't have been there. Stuff like this.
Yeah.
It's a good thing that we have the technology to be able to facilitate something like this. So I'm not complaining about that, but obviously I'd much rather be in person,
Yes.
hanging with folks.
Yeah. I totally agree with that, man. Totally agree.
So how has this thing been? How has it affected your DJing?
Oh man. When the pandemic first hit, I was actually when it hit in March, I had one more event was going on actually, like that following week before it really hit hard, but it was already there. And so we went in, had the party anyway. It was a day party, what it was. We shout out to my partner Jody Clemens. We do that. We called it Stone Group Sundays. It was like, just a regular day party from 4 to like about maybe like 8-ish, 8 o'clock, something like that. Nice event or whatnot. At that time, they told us that at first they was just going to close it down. But, at that time we didn't have, the governor didn't shut the city down or nothing like that yet. But so the club manager was just like, well, we still going to do it, but can you guys do something to, make sure things will be safe? So we didn't know what really to do because it was still new. So, but we were just like, man, I say, we just make sure we got the hand sanitizer on deck. We knew nothing about the whole mask thing yet. But we had the hand sanitizer. We didn't know about the 6 feet or nothing like that yet. So we basically had hand sanitizer and we just went in like that. Thank God nobody got sick from what we know of from that party. But as soon as that party was over with, the announcement was made that week, and I had a lot of events already were booked, when that shutdown hit. So basically when that happened, I had about maybe 2 parties out of the whole, maybe like, I think I was booked like 10 to 12 events already were in stone. And throughout the summer and, partially of the fall. Some of them were just postponed. It was just saying, well, this may carry over. And if it does, we still, may have it, or we'll just postpone it on the day. The other ones were just flat out canceled. And those were big events that I had lined up. So it was more like me traveling to different states and was about to, do my thing, but all that just went away, and it hit hard, I mean, and I can speak for not a lot of the DJs, but majority of them, especially the ones around here, man. And some of them were just working at the bars, and those shut down. And so, and some of them didn't even have 9-to-5 jobs or anything like that. I mean, lucky for me, I had one. And so the way how it affected everybody, man, it was just to a point that, at first they were just like, well, it'll blow over, it'll be, at least about a good month or two, maybe, and then we'll be back on our feet. Well, when reality hit, when the shutdown happened, I think that happened, in April, I believe. Yeah, I think it was April. And then it got reeled in because a lot of bars ended up closing for good. And majority of the bars that I was at are gone now, I mean, and so the effect that it has put on not just me, but like just DJs across the world, man, it really took a toll, because some of them this is what all they do. And when the money ain't coming in, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah. One thing I've not been particularly happy about, I've not been satisfied with, is for those in service industries, and then also for artists, freelance, folks that rely on gigs. There's not a lot of stuff that was said in the media, right? It was as if we didn't exist. And it still is that way. I think a few people are starting to say something, but as a sort of regular part of the conversation, what's happened to us has not been part of the conversation.
Right.
It's just been kind of like, there's all this talk about essential workers. And I find that to be I find that to be almost personally offensive.
Yeah.
Because there's like this, there's a connotation that what it is that we do is not essential. And I would argue the opposite of that point. I think that what it is that we do is absolutely essential. And in fact, is it's like, what are you going to, the arts, music, socializing, community, all of that kind of stuff is so critically important. And it's what makes us human beings. It's such an important, vital component. And for us not to be even considered, even in the conversation about, the sort of way that this pandemic has been devastating, it's just kind of disheartening. But on the other hand, it seems like things are starting to turn.
Yeah.
And more gigs are getting booked. I mean, I know I'm getting busier and stuff is, I've got a number of things booked in the summer. I play in church, and that kept going on throughout the pandemic. No congregation, just live streaming services.
Right.
I think that this whole potential of like, in this sort of expectation of people live streaming events and then getting some additional revenue, even if they have a live audience, I think that has been sort of set up and facilitated by the pandemic. And I've seen some of your live streams, which, that kind of thing. I don't know that would be the kind of thing that people would be like, yeah, let me go check this thing out. It's live stream. But I think now people are like, they're kind of expecting to see that.
Yeah.
And so we may be able to actually use that, as a benefit.
Yeah, it definitely worked in my favor as well. And the truth about it is that I just happened to it was just a random thing that I did. I was just in my lab, just doing my mix, just like a normal mix.
Thank you so much for watching my video so far. If you'd like to support, there are several ways to do so below. Also, likes are free. Please comment, share, and subscribe. Now back to the video.
A normal mix, just practicing whatever I call it. And I was just like, well, you know what? I just might as well just go live just because. And then I didn't know how big of an impact it brought to like all like the people that's following me on Facebook, and they were like sharing it with just everybody. And I mean, I was just, just doing something. Then they was just like, man, you need to do this, man. Cause I actually heard like, well, not actually heard, but like listen, like watching the comments after, I did the set, going back to reading the comments, they were all just like, they was thanking me. They were more than happy to the fact that, that I did something which uplifted them, gave them hope. They were just saying all that. And I was just like, wow. I was like, I was just in here, just doing my thing. And then all of a sudden, it just clicked as to me saying, they was just saying, well, I hope you do it again. So it turned into a point that I would do it at least once or twice a week just to help people get through their day. Because it was a lot of people struggling, man. And some of them were out of work. They're at home. They're not used to being at home all that time and not working. Some of them were working from home, but a whole lot of them wasn't. And so they trying to collect unemployment. The unemployment line was going nuts. They couldn't really get through. A lot of people wasn't getting their money at all. And the fact that me coming in there doing live mixes for 2 or 3 hours really gave people hope. And music really is like a hopeful gender as far as like it soothes your soul. It gives you hope. It gives you that relaxed mode. It's very genuine. I mean, the things that you do, you could just sit back, play an instrument or something, and that just would uplift somebody because they miss hearing it, they miss seeing it, they just miss that whole culture of it, of it being in the studio or being like at a bar or at a concert or at a club or just any kind of event, even weddings. I mean, you couldn't even do a wedding, no place would even have weddings, wouldn't let you book them because I was basically supposed to do some of them, and those got put on hold due to the pandemic. And then some of them said if you do, you only allow 10 people in there tops, and so I think doing virtual events not only helped me, but I also gained a lot of more clientele as well, because I've got booked from people that wasn't my friend on Facebook or nothing like that, or Instagram, all because of them seeing me, spinning live in my studio just because of the whole pandemic, with that shutting down. And it was like, oh, I'm booking you for my next party or yada, yada. And, I done already ended up doing 2 events, already, in my record books already done just because of that happening. So it's definitely a great benefit,
And if I may say, you have a really nice setup.
Thanks,
you
man.
got a nice setup. I really dig that. I like to see all that vinyl. There, some DJs have kind of gotten away from the vinyl thing, and everything is like MP3s and stuff like that. I mean, they still have control of it with software and controllers and stuff, but you're using vinyl. I mean, what if you can talk a little bit about that, why that's important to you?
Well, with vinyl, with the fact of it was back then when I first started collecting it, when I was in the early 80s, when I was just a collector at that time, the vinyl was really big. All the way up until like early 90s was when it was starting to fade out. And then the fact that it faded out and went away and it came back.
Right.
When it came back, it was like it started getting bigger. Like, you know, like it was kind of like it almost didn't leave. But now it's really back now, because you got people that wasn't even involved in vinyl or didn't even knew what it stood for, or wasn't a DJ. Now they're a DJ. But my thing is that with vinyl being so important, especially now, because it's the way how the culture is. They starting to really tell people how vinyl was introduced and how it plays a part then, how it plays a part now. And you got a lot of people, man, going to these vinyl stores, collecting, you know, they buying stuff that are very good classics, that are collector's items, that are, you know, some are reissues, but they still have original copies out there. Price wise, I mean, it varies depending on what album it is. And then they're really, like, with the reissues, they are bringing a lot of color vinyl involved. Like, for example, you know, with the RIP Goes to Prince, they put out that whole Prince 1999 album, remastered it and everything, and it's on purple vinyl. The color is actually purple. I mean, that alone is, I mean, that's a limited edition. You ain't gonna get that everywhere. So when they're out of that, they're out of it, you know. And
now I've heard, of course, you know, I've listened to lots of records.
Yeah.
And my dad has a nice collection of jazz recordings, and I listened to a lot of that stuff, you know, over and over and over when I was a kid, you know, growing up. But frankly, just due to convenience, almost all of the listening I do now is, you know, it's like MP3s, or it's like something on YouTube or stuff like that. You know, SoundCloud or Spotify, or, you know, it's all of that.
Right.
And of course, there's compression associated with that technology, and on a sort of a PCM sort of format, there's no compression, right? So,
right.
And now that could include like CDs, but it certainly also includes vinyl, right? And then there's this sort of, you know, purists will talk quite a bit about how vinyl just sounds better. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think with vinyl, it just depends on what type of how good the quality is on the vinyl, because sometimes you can get a pressed copy and a copy is not that great, like the levels are low, or, you know, it's a basic, but that's only maybe 10% of the vinyl culture. But the 90% of it, that premiere sound, you really can't get on a digital format, as far as, you know, like the MP3s, or, you know, just all of that. Only because, I mean, they trying to remaster it, but you getting it from the vinyl pretty much when you're recording anyway. So don't get me wrong, the compact disc of it, you know, nice, clear, that clarity, but then, and when you put it on an MP3, you know, it's basically sounding the same as the CD. But with the vinyl, it has a different tone, a different feel, if that makes sense, because of the fact that you know the difference when you put that needle on that record, and you just hear that, you just hear that precise sound. It's just,
and the crackle, you know, I mean, you gotta love the crackle. I mean,
I mean, there's nothing better than hearing that crackling sound of it, and it's vinyl there when you hear it. I mean, it's just there. It could be just a little crackle, it could be one little pop, or just when right before the record even starts, you can hear that. Yep. You just hear it,
Yeah.
And you just gotta have a good ear.
There's a presence there.
Yeah. So you gotta have a good ear. Because like with me, I can tell whether it's being recorded on a vinyl record or not. It's just, that's just the fact of my experience with it. So
all right. So we gotta go back. We gotta go way back, man. So we have a lot of history. Okay.
Yes.
So, clubbing, playing basketball, pickup games of basketball, man, chasing girls, man, you used to cut my hair.
Oh, I do remember that. I did that a couple of times. I don't know why you trust me with that, because I ain't even old.
Well, look, man. Either way, it was an upgrade because my dad was cutting my hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no knocking my dad, but you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. Right.
Now, obviously, I don't. I'm not in need of a barber anymore. You seem to have kept all of your hair, though, man.
Yeah, for now, man, I'm still hanging on to it.
But so talk to us about how you grew up and maybe at some point, when did you get the name DJ Cutt-Nice? Where's the kind of origins of that? And what school did you go to? What high school did you go to?
Okay, well, I went to Everett, same school you went to. Yep. Big ups to the Vikings, EV in the building.
That's right.
Now beginning, basically, I got into with the vinyl very young, 2 years old to be exact. I used to break my dad's records quite a bit because I always would go over there trying to, finger with him what's going on, and then all of a sudden, I knew how to operate his record player. And even though I couldn't read at the time, my dad would like mark the record and I would put it on there and I would operate it. I just knew what to do. And so when my dad just saw that, he was just like, I can't hold him back. He's going to keep doing this. So basically from there on, I was basically his personal DJ when he had like basement parties and stuff like that. He would stand me up on a crate and I would just do my thing, man. And so, I mean, they couldn't believe it until, my dad, told some of my relatives to come behind because they had like a little mini bar. So you couldn't see me over that. So they come around, they was like, who's playing on the music? They was like, I'll show you, like that. And then, they just flipped. They flipped their lids when they saw that. And so, and then, fast forward a little bit, I was just being a collector. Like I said, got my first equipment when I was 7th grade. I had mismatched turntables. They weren't even, I call them record players, what they were. One had a pitch control, the other one didn't. And so training on that, though, was like the best thing ever. Only because I was just getting prepared for the real equipment when I actually do get them. So then, fast forward a little more, I ended up, going to Everett, playing, basketball for the team. So I was just still like collecting records, but I wasn't really, the DJing didn't really start until I want to say like my sophomore year going into my junior year. So that's when I started doing like the basement parties for, the students that went there. You know about those. And
Oh yeah.
and so it started, it was just popping. And then and at that time I was going by DJ Underground. So but it's funny how I got my name, because I was in my room and these guys, Harrison Randall and Kenny Sims.
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah.
yeah.
So they was
I produced a couple. I produced a couple tracks for Ken.
Oh yeah.
He's rapping.
Yep. Sure did. Yeah. I wonder if he still has those, man, because them beats you made on there were nice. They were nice.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to search around, because some of the stuff that I was doing back in those days, frankly, I'm not sure that I do, but
Wow.
That has been something that I want to locate. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm gonna I hit him up too and see if he still have them. Yeah, I haven't really asked him about all that in a while. It's been a while since I did that. But anyways, as I was in there, I was just doing my normal, just trying to show out for them, doing my thing. And then so Harrison was like, yo, man, your cuts were nice, man. Them cuts were nice. And then Ken just was like, yo, that should be your name. And I was like, what? He was like, yo, Cutt-Nice. That should be your name. I like that name. I was like, you know what? It does have a feel to it. I was like, it best describes me. My cuts are nice. I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's do that. And I ain't looked back since, man. So big ups to Ken, big ups to Harrison for doing that,
Yeah, and that was it was us four out playing pickup basketball often.
Yeah. And getting buckets and getting W's too. We were doing that. We was doing that thing. Yeah.
I think I tell my students this. Well, it's been a while since I told students this, but because it's like such ancient history. But I had hops, man. I could get my elbow in the rim.
Oh, I know. I remember. I had hops. I remember at the IM. Remember when we used to go out there all the time at the outside IM? Yeah. I'll never forget it. You got the ball on the rebound, and we didn't know you could dunk. This is when you had got the ball, you had got a rebound, and this was in traffic too. And you just jumped straight up and just yammed it hard. And we was like, and at that time we was calling you, we called you Shawn, but at that time we was like Wallace.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember Oh, Wallace.
Yeah, we was like Wallace. Cause that shocked us, man. Cause at that time we wasn't dunking, so we was just like, man. But the way you were getting those, I mean, that wasn't the only dunks you were doing, but that was the one you surprised us with, because it never hit us that you could dunk. We knew you could jump and get rebounds for us and stuff, and you was good with the putbacks, and even had a little 10-footer. I was like, but when you did that dunk, man, that woke some people up. And we started calling you Wallace from the get-go after that. We would just say, nah, this is Wallace right here. After that, Wallace was formed.
Oh man. Yeah, that was like what, 75 pounds ago, 80 pounds ago. Yeah, I do a lot of
and our real prime. That was real prime right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got to a certain point in all the jumping and stuff. It was just beating my knees up because I was spending a lot of time weight training, and that's kind of where I saw that I had, my biggest sort of upside, I thought, was with the weight training, and it was something I could do for longer. And so once I got to like 230 pounds, 240 pounds like that, then I was like, yeah, I can't be doing this jumping anymore.
Yeah, man. It does take a toll on you, man. It does.
Yeah. But those are some of those memories, man, are some of my most cherished memories with you guys.
Yeah.
And even like trying to get numbers, that whole thing, man. That is just, oh my goodness,
man. Man, we were something else. We were definitely something else.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man,
that was great. I remember because I had that truck, I had the pickup.
Yeah,
we would all try to get in my truck.
Yeah, you had the red. You had sounds in that mud.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. We would be like, man. I was like, man, look, I'm in the shotgun because I know you had the back part, but there were two little seats back there.
Oh yeah,
in the pickup.
It was squeezing cats in. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just like, I would tell kids to do. I was like, hey, I'm in the front. I would say that right from the get-go. I'm like, I'm in the front. Yeah.
Oh
man. It was a lot of good memories, man. A lot of great memories, man.
Beautiful memories. L-Town.
Yeah.
L-Town.
Yeah.
And so I guess, I mean, talk to us about some of the sort of influential DJs on your style, and you're pretty eclectic with the music that you spin.
Yeah.
But maybe talk a little bit about maybe your taste in music, and then maybe also, like I said, some of your influences.
Well, basically, my taste in music, it's all over the place. I like different genres. I mean, I like a few country joints, a few, classic rock. I'm big on some of those. Not too much in the metal, but it was a couple songs that okay. And then you got your R&B and your hip hop, and then your house music, your ghetto tech, they call it. It's basically just a upgrade past the house music is how they call it. That's what Detroit call it. So they call it ghetto tech, which you familiar with. Like the Percolator and the Shake What Your Mama Gave You, not the Poison Clan one, but the that kind. The Detroit versions of it. Chicago House, that was another one. They was doing that. Some technos were okay too. And, top 40, I mean, like I said, man, I'm really into all of it. And some of it I collect on vinyl. I have those on vinyl. I have on 45s as well. And that's pretty much like that. Like my genre across the board is basically I like something out of all of them, majority of them. But influence wise, number one is DJ Jazzy Jeff. From the get-go, he was the main one that really opened my eyes, because seeing him DJ live, because normally when they on back then, when we talking like in the 80s, they were you know, they were DJing, you know, with the MC or whatever, but they wasn't DJing it live. Jazzy Jeff was the first one that actually DJ'd it live on, you know, TV, you know, with the Fresh Prince. And that was phenomenal when I first saw that. And then when Jazzy Jeff did it, then I started seeing other DJs do it. EPMD was on there. And at that time, DJ Scratch was on there. And he did some stuff too that was live. And, you know, because normally when they be on like Soul Train or American Bandstand or just anywhere like that, or, you know, some of these Grammy Awards or anything like that, the majority of the rap artists, they don't be able to do their stuff live, or Showtime at the Apollo. Sometimes they'll do it live and sometimes they won't. It just depends. But when you can tell the scratching and the back cueing and everything were live, you know it's the record. It was like played, you know, pantomime through the record, or actually them doing it live. So when I caught that, I was like, dang, he was killing that. And so that right there just told me I wanted to be a DJ right then and there. And the greatest thing was watching him and DJ Scratch, because them two were my top guys. Kid Capri, he's another one. And you know, and I still got, you know, some favorites, but them three were really solid ones, but Jazzy Jeff is the main one. And the good thing about it, man, is that I met all three of them and kicked it with all three of them. You know, that was like the greatest thing, the greatest moment in my life, really, because like I said, I've done a lot of shows with artists. I've done a lot of concerts. You know, I've did a lot of openings, you know, for DJs, or openings for rap artists or R&B artists. And actually, I opened up for Kid Capri twice, actually. And that was like cool. And after I did that, you know, we kicked it on his tour bus and all that. So I was gaining knowledge. He was teaching me all that knowledge, man, of how to become a DJ, how you touring, how you do this, how you do that. Make sure, you know, he was giving me the do's and don'ts, man. And I'm just like, damn, I'm sitting here with Kid Capri, literally, you know. And at that time, where was the good cell phones back then when it mattered? I was like, man, I couldn't really get no picture. I mean, I know I took one, but it was one of them disposable cameras, man, and you know how those go back then. But just meeting, man, DJ Jazzy Jeff was like a blessing, man, and he was a real cool dude. Kicked it with him for a while too. You know, I had one of his actual mixers that he came out with in 1989. I had one, and it was in great shape. It already had like a stamp signature of his on there, but when I showed that to him, he literally was like, wow. And he was like, it is in great shape. And I was like, yeah, I take care of my stuff, you know. And so he actually signed that one too. So I got the stamp signature the pre-stamp that already comes with the mixer, let alone his actually signature on it. That's huge, you know. And got a picture, you know, with it, with both of us holding it, you know. And that right there, man, if I never have to, if I don't DJ ever again to this point, I made my accomplishment. Because my biggest goal, it wasn't to be like, I'm gonna meet all the famous people or whatever. My goal back then was to meet Jazzy Jeff, and I finally accomplished that. So now I feel like my DJ career is complete now. I'm very complete. I'm very happy with where I'm at, you know, and how, even though the pandemic does slow things down or whatnot, but right now I'm just like, I've accomplished a lot of things as a DJ, and more than what I've actually bargained for, more than what I thought I was gonna do. So I mean, it's just come from a lot of grinding really hard, and I never gave up, man. It didn't matter where I live because, you know, I'm still here in Lansing, but a lot of people just don't understand, man. If you're very persistent and if you really want to go after your dream or after your goal that you really want to do, don't let nothing stop you. Don't let the fact that you live in a town that doesn't really have all like the attributes or have all the people that could get you started or could get you there. You just go out there and get it. And with the internet, it was really tougher for me back then because the internet wasn't popping like that, like how it is now or nothing. So that was when the mixtapes came in. So I was just killing them. I was killing the game with that. So that's what really got me to travel everywhere, and not saying that I had to move to Atlanta or I have to move to Florida or I have to move to Texas or California or New York to get on. That was my mentality at first, but then it was just like, it doesn't matter where you live. It's just whether do you want to be known do you just want to be known as the local DJ? Or do you want to be known as national, or do you want to be worldwide, or do you want, you know, or do you just want specific areas? I mean, I just went everywhere, and my name just went out there, man. That's just grinding.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think we're kind of tweeners, you know, like you. So the folks that are like the generation above us, by the time the sort of internet sort of created this sort of flat Earth, you know, a lot of them were already kind of done with the climb in their career, or totally done with the climb in their career, right? But for us, like that stuff kind of hit like in the middle, or like, you know, towards the early middle or something. And so I think there's sort of a benefit of that, because one thing I see, and I talk to my students frequently about, is that because everything can be acquired like for free practically now, like music, there's not the same kind of sort of value of the music, and there's such a proliferation of concerts, presentations, performances, live concert videos. There's all of this content like online that's just like you can just get on there and just watch it. And I think that can have the sort of effect of cheapening the experience. And so it's like there's not as big of a value on that time spent with it. Whereas we're old enough so that we remember that you had to save your money up and you had to go buy this record that you wanted. And then you would burn that record up and you would just keep listening to it over and over. And so it's more sort of ingrained, that stuff is more ingrained, is more sort of a permanent part of us. It's not as fleeting. And so that's an interesting thing. And another thing that's interesting is, I think because of the kind of sort of organic grind that you had to do, stuff like you were talking about mixtapes, this whole thing about guys selling stuff out the trunk of their car, and just the hustle that it took to do that. And it wasn't just a matter of, okay, I got my tracks together, okay, now let me email them to people. No, that didn't exist.
Right.
I mean, you had to snail mail everything for every purpose, or you had to get in your car and actually drive to these other locations. And now I would argue that at the beginning of my career, it would have likely been beneficial for me to have lived somewhere else, But by the time things really started to spin up, and with the internet really sort of created this flat earth, it is no longer necessary for people to move to New York or Atlanta or any of the spots, the West Coast, Texas. It's no longer necessary to move.
Right.
You can stay where you are, and you can have an international audience. And again, getting back to the whole pandemic thing, I think the pandemic has further flattened the earth. Right? It's even created a closer thing where now it's like people don't even have to leave their house, and they can get and they can be part of all of this, new content, this new productions, and YouTube in particular. I think the way that they do this sort of live interaction with the with the chat, and then with the super chats, and with just the different ways that you can support folks, and the way that you are getting this sort of two-way communication, and the really good performers they know that they have this live thing going. They're trying to invite those folks into the performance. They're acknowledging them. They're saying stuff. Hey, oh man, thanks for that comment. Oh yeah, thanks for the, and oh yeah, last week, thanks for that, that super chat that you left. I didn't get to say something to it because the broadcast was almost over. All of that kind of stuff. It creates this sort of virtual community, and it maybe seems a little less isolated. I think people are really hungry for that right now.
Yeah. Definitely.
But yeah, but it's just it's interesting how things have changed, and how the technology maybe has created some more opportunities, but it seems that there is still this sort of limitation of folks that aren't old enough to remember what it was like to grind and hustle that way. So in a sense, I feel like people that are in sort of our age range, I think we can provide something unique to people.
Yeah.
Because we have that history, but we also have this sort of expertise with the technology.
Yep. Yep, exactly. I totally agree with that 100. Totally agree.
Yeah. So, man, I feel like no time has gone by. I just feel like, man, reminiscing with you, man.
Yeah. It's been a while, man. It's been a while. Yeah, but it does feel like it don't feel like time went by though. It don't.
No, so this would have been because us hanging out. We were hanging out over probably like a couple year period of time, like hanging out a lot,
right?
And that had to be like maybe the year after college, or I'm sorry, the year after high school, or maybe like a couple years out of high school, and I think because I was still around Columbus. Columbus. What am I saying? I was still around Lansing, because I didn't go right to college. I was staying with my parents for a couple years, and then I was going to community college. Remember, I was going to Lansing Community College for a year.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's where we were.
Yeah. And then I transferred into Western, and we were still kind of staying in touch when I went to Western, because I was still coming back like every weekend. But eventually we weren't as connected as we once were.
Right.
But I'll tell you, man, that 2 years out of high school, that was like really formative.
Yeah, man, it was.
Whatever little game that I developed with the ladies was developed in that 2-year period of time with you guys.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we were pretty aggressive. We was definitely aggressive, man. But we do, for some reason, man, we do what to say. And you just followed the lead. Yeah. Yeah, you just followed the lead, and man, and it just worked, man. It was man, good times, man. I think everybody in East Lansing, we were there.
Yeah.
Like on the regular, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
That's right.
Yeah.
Getting it in. All of them house parties, and then clubs. There's one on, oh man, I can almost see it. Like I can still almost see this. You know, my truck is parked somewhere where we're outside of the venue, and it's like a really big parking lot, and it was like across from a bowling alley or something.
Is that Sparty's you talking?
Oh, it could have been Sparty's, or it could have been.
Or is it the bingo hall? That's probably the bingo hall.
The bingo hall.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Man,
oh,
man. Yep.
Oh my goodness.
The bingo hall. Yep. As soon as you said that.
I remember that joint, man.
Man.
You know, the thing is like the thing about that, and kind of being on the hunt, you know, it's like it didn't matter if we totally like nothing panned out, like you didn't get any numbers, you didn't connect with anybody or whatever. It didn't matter because we were together.
Right.
You know, we were hanging out. And so that was always like that was the thing, and that just made that just made it really worth something. Otherwise it was just it was pretty trivial.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, man, that was like one of the greatest times, man. The greatest like 2 years, man, we had. I think that was like a good 94, 95-ish. And part of 96, yeah. You know, yeah, it was just like, it was just good times, man. We were just, you know, enjoying our moments, man. Just being here, you know. It was always something to do.
Yeah,
always
and then
something.
Also, you know, that NBA Live 95 had just come out.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
And then the college game.
Yeah, Coach K.
Coach K.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Man.
Yeah.
And we were dealing with the man.
Yeah. We would used to play them games. We would play the video games. We would go play ball, and then we at the parties. That's how we did that. That's exactly how we would do sometimes, man. We either playing video games when there's nothing really popping. We playing them 2 games, Live 95 and Coach K. And then, because you remember Ken, he just was competitive. He just wanted to keep playing and playing.
Oh yeah.
You know.
And I used to on Coach K, I used to always get the team, what was it, the Bruins, UCLA?
Yeah.
And I used to pick, it was number 23. He's actually was a power forward, but I was always shooting threes with him.
Yeah.
And you know, the way that the engine on that game worked was that if you had like the precise timing of releasing the button, you could take somebody that, you know, didn't have a high rating, and you could just be getting buckets.
Yeah. Half court too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that. It's a certain way how you tap it. You have to like do a quick tap, and he hitting the half court. I said, man, this is horrible. I was like, I done found out a way. I was like, I done found out a way to just beat the system like this. I said, oh my gosh.
Oh, it's what's up, man. And you know, the thing is, it's funny because, of course, the video game technology is way better now. I mean,
Oh my
everything
God.
is like it's incredible. But I have to tell you, man, at least maybe the romancing that's in the romancing of that time period of, you know, of that game, just remembering the number of hours playing the game and hanging out with you guys and everything else. It's just always going to make those games better than anything that ever comes out.
No doubt, man. That's history, man. That's really good. That's great history right there. Because I mean, them games, man. It was phenomenal, man. It was that was just, man, the 90s, growing up in the 90s, man, was, you know, with us and us being in our like early teens, as far as like 16, 17, 18s, you know, around that era, in 94, 95-ish, man, great times. Great times.
It really was. It really was great times.
I love that.
All right, so let's why don't you plug something? What do you have coming up, and or is there a way that folks can support you, follow you? What do you want to plug?
Okay, definitely. Which everybody's on the Facebook. So if you are and you haven't, you know, followed me yet or anything, just you know, you go to Facebook and I'm DJ Cutt-Nice. Just type that in and it'll come right to my page, or type in Brian Payne. You know, that'll go through. On the Instagram,
Cutt-Nice is 2 T's. Cutt-Nice is 2 T's. I'm going to put this in the description of the video also, like some links, some hyperlinks to your social media.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yep. So, yeah. So, after the Facebook.com / DJ Cutt-Nice, that'll come up. And then you got the Instagram, just at Cutt-Nice, Cuttnice. And then I'm on Twitch. That's where I do a lot of my live shows from, which I call those are like, I call it the Feel the Hunger mix shows. So so that's Twitch, you know, .tv / Cutt-Nice. And yeah, you will find me on there. Gigs I got coming up, depending on what's going on with this pandemic and stuff. Like I mentioned earlier, we do day parties. I'll be doing one soon on Sundays, from like, once again, probably either 3:00 p.m. or 4:00. This is all in Lansing. For everybody that's in Lansing or come down to Lansing or whatever the case is. Yeah, so just check me out on that way. It'll either be from 3 to 8 or 4 to 8. It varies. I actually did a good one. A friend of mine had a brunch about 3-4 weeks ago. And, they did the whole social distancing and stuff like that. Everybody wore the mask and stuff like that. Very successful. I mean, it was very successful.
Now let me ask you, if folks want to book you, if they just contact you through your social media, shoot you a DM, is that the way that usually goes?
Yep. They normally just hit me on there. They hardly use the phone, but I could put that in on it too. My email, Cutt-Nice, that's CUTTNICE @gmail.com. I also get quite a few bookings that way too. They hit me on the email. Phone number is not private, so like 517-980-9888. I get a lot, people text me from there. So I mean, I'm just doing my thing, man. It's just, trying to get it out there and, still keep it rocking it, man. Keep it going.
That's what's up, man. Hey, man. It's been great catching up with you. I got to do a better job of staying in touch with you guys. That's, again, like I said, it was a formative time in my life. And I frequently think back on those times when things were a lot simpler. And yeah.
Yeah, it was, man. It was, man. And and it's good, man, because I do see the guy still, man. Harrison, he lives here still. Ken,
I think Harrison ran into my dad.
Oh, really?
One time, and this was a few years. This might have been a couple years back or something.
Uh-huh.
And he said, and they talked for a few minutes or something. He just kind of caught up or whatever. But of course, I haven't talked to him. I'm friends with Ken on Facebook, and frequently, well, not frequently, but every once in a while, we'll send a message or something like that. But I actually haven't talked to Harrison since back when, basically the last time I talked to you.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So it's been a long time. I know, and we're Facebook friends and stuff like that. And I've been
right.
The stuff that you have going on, but we got to do something. I'm going to be up there sometime. I'm living in Columbus, Ohio.
Right.
But I'll be coming up there with my son to visit my parents sometime this summer.
Okay.
So maybe we can just try to make it work out so that we can hang.
We definitely, man, definitely. We can definitely make that work, man. And we can even like as soon as just shoot everybody, like shoot me and Ken, info or whatnot. And because Ken comes back here quite a bit. He's in Texas, but he comes here quite a bit though. So long as he knows ahead of time, he'll make the trip, because like I said, all his family is still here. So
right.
Then,
let's try to plan something and get the old squad, the Gus Macker squad back together.
Yeah, I'm all for it, man. I'm all for it. So I'm
all right, man. Well, stick around. I'm gonna stop rolling, but stick around. It was good seeing you. And
yes, sir.
All right, man.
Yes, sir. All right.
See you next time.
Oh, yeah.